What's the best toothpaste? Most people think their toothpaste protects their teeth, but as a dentist, I can tell you that some of them actually damage your enamel and gums, causing gum recession and those notches at the gum line. In this video, I'll show you what the best toothpaste actually is, whether you want whiter teeth, less cavities, or healthier gums. And at the end, I'm going to share something very controversial, something that might get me in trouble as a dentist. That is, do you really need toothpaste at all? Let's start with the most searched question. What's the best whitening toothpaste? Well, here's the harsh truth. Whitening toothpaste don't actually whiten your teeth, they just polish them. And the way they polish is by using abrasives. Now, imagine brushing your teeth with a very fine sandpaper every single day for years. How could this be healthy to your teeth? Well, the truth is, it isn't healthy at all. That brings us to something called the RDA scale, or relative dentin abrasivity. This is basically a measure of how scratchy a toothpaste is. The higher the number, the more it wears down your enamel. The RDA scale is divided into 4 groups based on the score. RDA 0 to 70 is low abrasion, meaning it's safe for daily use. RDA 70 to 100 is medium. RDA 100 to 150 is high. And above 150, extremely abrasive. And here's the catch. Usually the whitening toothpaste sits on the higher end. That's why people feel that their teeth look smoother or cleaner. But in reality, if you use it long term, too much abrasion can thin your enamel, increase sensitivity, and paradoxically, make stains stick even faster, making your teeth look even more yellow. The opposite of what it's supposed to do. So what's the best whitening toothpaste? Honestly, none of the abrasive ones. But if you love whitening toothpaste, don't panic. It won't destroy your teeth overnight. But long-term use can absolutely cause problems. Therefore, if you want real whitening, you need actual bleaching, not abrasive paste. To understand the best toothpaste for preventing cavities, we need a 10-second science course. Cavities happen because of bacteria, the kind of bacteria that eat sugars and release acids on your teeth. Then, those acids dissolve minerals from your enamel. Think of it like acid rain wearing away rock over time. Not this rock though. But fluoride does something clever. It rebuilds that weakened surface with a stronger mineral, fluorapatite. It's slightly more resistant to acids than your natural enamel. Now, how does fluoride protect your teeth? First of all, it doesn't kill bacteria. It just makes your enamel harder and more resistant to acids. You can imagine it as a thin, hard shield that covers your teeth. Therefore, if you're cavity prone, or if you want to maximize your chances of avoiding future cavities, listen closely. The best toothpaste for cavities is any fluoride toothpaste with the correct concentration of fluoride. Usually 1,450 parts per million for adults. You don't need fancy packaging. You don't need the most expensive brand. And certainly, you don't need the most exotic ingredients. All you need is the right amount of fluoride plus good brushing. And here's a tiny dentist hack that's more powerful than any toothpaste. Don't rinse right after brushing. Spit out the toothpaste, but don't rinse. Let the fluoride sit on the enamel like a protective layer. Some people worry about fluoride because at extremely high doses, it can be toxic, like many minerals. So if you prefer fluoride-free options, hydroxyapatite is a good alternative, though not as effective. But enamel protection isn't the only issue. What if your teeth already hurt? Let's talk about sensitivity, because this is one of the most misunderstood dental problems. If you've ever felt that sharp, electric shock from cold air or ice cream, here's the surprising truth. Your enamel isn't the problem. Your dentin is. Dentin is the layer under your enamel. It's not smooth or solid like most people imagine. Under a microscope, it looks like millions of tiny straws, called tubules, all pointed directly toward the nerve at the center of the tooth. And when enamel gets thin, or gums recede even a few millimeters, those tiny straws become exposed. Now imagine blowing cold air through a bundle of straws. Where does that air go? Well, straight to the other side. And that's exactly what happens in your tooth as well. Cold air, cold drinks, brushing, even sweet foods, They all travel straight through those tubules and hit the nerve instantly. And that's the real cause of sensitivity. So what does sensitive toothpaste actually do? Well, not what most people think. It doesn't strengthen the tooth, and it doesn't coat the enamel. It simply just blocks the straws. And that's it. Simple, elegant, and effective. And out of all the ingredients on the shelves, only 2 reliably do this. The first one is potassium nitrate, which calms the nerve, like turning down the volume on a loudspeaker. The second is stannous fluoride. It physically blocks the tubules, sealing them off like corks in tiny straws. Plus, it has added antimicrobial benefits. So if sensitivity is your problem, ignore the marketing and focus on the chemistry. Pick a toothpaste with potassium nitrate or stannous fluoride. It's basically putting a winter coat over the nerve, shielding it from the cold. Now, what toothpaste works best for gum disease? Gum disease is caused by biofilm, that sticky bacterial layer sitting right at the gum line. Toothpaste can help, especially if it contains stannous fluoride or antimicrobial components. But the real solution is mechanical cleaning. Toothpaste alone can't fix your gum disease. Your brushing technique does. I like to say that gum disease is 90% your brush and only 10% your toothpaste. Meaning, how you brush matters way more than what you brush with. If you aim wrong, rush, or brush too hard, even the best toothpaste won't help if you don't properly clean your gum line. I've made a full video on this where I show the perfect brushing technique. Go check it out if you want to be a master of brushing. Alright, let's talk about the controversial part. Do you actually need toothpaste? Here's the truth, and I'm saying this as a dentist. No, you don't. You could brush with 0 toothpaste, just a brush and water. And as long as you clean every surface correctly, you would still remove plaque and protect your teeth. Because mechanical removal of the biofilm is what actually prevents cavities and gum disease. Not the foam, not the mintiness, and not the ads. So why use toothpaste at all? Because certain ingredients can help if you have specific problems. Fluoride for cavities, stannous fluoride or potassium nitrate for sensitivity, mild abrasives for stain removal, antimicrobials for gum inflammation. But if your brushing technique is wrong, none of that matters. And for the record, I don't use toothpaste in the mornings. Just water and perfect technique. But I still use toothpaste in the evenings because that's when fluoride does the most good. But if you want to fix the mistakes that actually cause cavities and gum recession, watch this video next. There I'll show you the perfect brushing technique I talked about, and the 7 mistakes almost everyone makes every single day without realizing it. Do not miss this one.